After the ending of the revolt of 1857, what were the changes that took place in India? That means what were the main changes took place in the administrative or in the society or in the military field? Let's discuss about the consequences of the revolt of 1857. So what were the main consequences or result after the revolt of 1857? The number one, that consequences of the revolt of 1857 is the end of companies' rules. End of companies' rules. After the revolt of 1857, the rule of East India Company's rule was completely ended. The power of India was transformed from the hand of the British East India Company to the British Crown. That is the most important result or effect or consequences of revolt of 1857. Number two, and the end of companies rule, the act by which the power of India was transformed from the hand of the British East India Company to the British Crown was called the Government of India Act 1858. Number two consequences was the proclamation of Queen Victoria. That means after the revolt of 1857, now the power had shifted from the East India Company to the Queen Victoria or the British Crown. Number two result was the proclamation of Queen Victoria that was made openly at Allahabad on 1st November 1858 by Lord Canning. Number three, end of Mughals and Peshwas. Number three consequences of the revolt of 1857 was the end of the power of the Peshwas and the Mughals in India. After the defeat of Nana Sahib and the defeat of Bahadur Shah Jafar, the Mughal and the Peshwas power completely ended. So from the India, the Mughals and the Peshwas were completely withdrawn, or their power came to an end, and all were taken by the British Queen. Number four result is relation with the princely state. After the revolt of 1857, the British Crown or the British government abandoned the doctrine of lapse and other policies that were made to annex the territories of India. And after the abandonment of such policies, the Indian states or Indian princes became more friendly, and the relation of the British government and those princes became normal, and some rulers or Indian princes became loyal to the British government after such policies were withdrawn or abandoned. Number five result is the religious changes. After the revolt of 1857, the British realized that they should not interfere into the personal matter like religion and the social affairs, because religion is a sensitive issue for the Indian people. So they decided, or they promised, that they further would not intervene in religious matters. Number six, changes in the army. After the revolt of 1857, the British realized that they need to strengthen their army. So they wanted to strengthen the army so that further uprising like the revolt of 1857 should be handled easily by the British. So they even increased the British troops in the number of 65,000. The European troops increased to 65,000 in their army, and the British European troops were kept in the military and the geographical position, so that whenever some uprising was made, they can easily suppress that uprising. Number seven consequences or result of the revolt of 1857 was the economic exploitation. The British took away all the resources, raw materials from India, so they completely exploited the India. Not just by the British East India Company, but after the East India Company's rule, now the power has shifted to the hand of the British Crown. Now they also took away all the resources, raw materials from India, and India became economically exploited. India economy was completely shattered. Next number eight, rise of nationalism. Though the revolt of 1857 was a failure for the Indian people and Indian sepoys, but it was not completely failed. For Indian people, for different sections of the people realized one thing, that if we fight more unitedly and more strongly, and if we use more strong forces of troops, we can also win the battle. We can definitely become independent, and we can throw away the British from the India. So this is the feelings of nationalism, and the patriotic feelings became arise. So that this feeling of nationalism or patriotic feelings arise in the mind of the Indian people. So after the Revolt of 1857, it also resulted as the rise of nationalism in the mind of the Indian people, who realized that India could be independent, but they need to be more united, and more people should be participating in the revolt, and more tactics and positive tactics should be implied in the revolt. This is the rise of nationalism, another result or effect. Number 9, the widening the gap between the Hindus and Muslims. The British were very much aware that the Indian weakness part is the customs and religions. So they use this as a trump card, and they wanted to divide India on the basis of religion. So after the power shifted to the hand of the British Crown and the British government also used these issues or religion, the sensitive religion, as the trump card, and they divided Indian society into two parts, Hindus and Muslims, to weaken the unity of the Indians. Number 10, the increased racial bitterness. After the Revolt of 1857, when the power came to the hand of the British Crown, the racial bitterness between the Indians and the British also became much more increased. Indians were tortured, humiliated, and they were referred as the black people to the British people. In the outside of the hotel restaurants, there was a nameplate. There is written the words that the Indians and our dogs are not allowed. So Indians were compared with the dogs. That's the position of the Indian peoples to the British. So the increase of bitterness, or this increase of racial discrimination in the society also another result or effect of the Revolt of 1857. These are the main effect or result of 1857. So main thing is that the power had been shifted from the hand of the company to the British Crown. Now the power was taken by the Queen Victoria. The political policies like the doctrine of lapse or subsidy alliance were abandoned, and some princes became loyal to the British. Now India became a colony. To the British. They took all the resources from the India, and India economy, or backbone of the Indian economy, is completely shattered. They exploited us. These are the main result of Revolt 1857. So take care, keep studying, keep learning.